Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I will be reading a Muichiro listener by me. So let's get into it. The sun was setting over the training grounds, casting long shadows over the soft grass and distant trees. You sat on the edge of the wooden porch, your arms wrapped tightly around your knees, as the soft rustling of the wind filled the silence. You had avoided sparring today, claiming you were fatigued. The truth, though, was far more biting and personal. You didn't feel like you belonged. Your insecurities gnawing at you, unrelenting. Why are you out here? The familiar voice startled you, soft, yet full of curiosity. Muichiro stood a few feet away, his ever-distant gaze locked onto you. His long hair swayed slightly in the breeze, and his katana rested at his hip. He approached you without waiting for your answer, sitting beside you quietly. "I was just thinking," you murmured, your voice barely audible over the wind. And Muichiro tilted his head, his expression unreadable. "About what?" You hesitated then. Sharing your insecurities felt impossible, especially with someone as poised and composed as Muichiro. You didn't want to seem too weak or too silly, especially when that someone you were talking to had a million things on their head, and you were just thinking about your thighs. You stared at your lap instead, wishing the conversation would drift away like the wind. "Why do you always hide when something's bothering you?" he asked, his tone calm, but with a subtle hint of insistence and concern. "You can tell me." And that's when you bit your lip, finally mustering the courage to respond. It's stupid, Muichiro. Really." "I doubt that. It's not stupid if it's upsetting you. That's what I believe," he said, his voice gentle and unwavering. And your chest tightened at his patience and kindness. And finally, the words spelled out. "It's my thighs," you confessed, the shame clear in your voice. "They don't look right, especially not for someone who's supposed to be training as a demon slayer." Muichiro blinked, his expression softening ever so slightly, and he looked down at your legs for a moment, then back up at you. "That's what's been bothering you?" You nodded, feeling the heat of embarrassment rise to your cheeks. I feel like I'm not good enough. I see other people who look better, stronger, and then there is me." He didn't respond immediately, but instead, he reached out and placed his hand on your knee. His touch was light, grounding and comforting in a way you did not expect. "Well, I suppose I may not understand very well, but I believe you're strong. You've trained hard to get here, and I'm proud of you. And if you're worried about your appearance, and not just your strength, then know that I find you very beautiful, and that is something that will never change." You glanced at him, your eyes wide, but "Stop comparing yourself to everyone else," he interrupted, his gaze meeting yours with an intensity that silenced every protest in your mind. "You're not them, and they're not you, and that's fine." "Fine?" you echoed, blinking in surprise. "Better than fine," he corrected, tilting his head slightly. "They're yours. They're strong, and they've carried you through everything so far, haven't they?" You swallowed hard, looking away. I just It's hard not to feel like I'm falling short. And not just that, I look a little bit fat. And so, you act like that's a bad thing. It doesn't matter what you look like. You're beautiful to me, Ryan. You're not falling short and you're not doing anything wrong. You're here. You're training and you're alive. And that's more than enough, he said. And for a moment, he really didn't know how to respond to his words. The way he said them, they seemed so simple, so easy to acknowledge. But they were important. They held a weight that made them feel grounding to you. And you were more than relieved to be able to hear them. And slowly, you found yourself nodding, your chest loosening, as a faint sense of relief began to take hold. Thank you murmured, your voice barely above a whisper. And Muichiro shifted slightly, leaning back on his hands and looking out at the horizon. You should be kinder to yourself, he said after a pause. You're worth a lot more than you think. And I think you're really harsh. You need that kindness, Ryan, and you deserve it. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky in warm hues of orange and pink. And sitting beside him, he felt a small smile tug at the corners of your lips. You had a lot of thoughts in your mind, and you knew that even with Muichiro's reassurance, they wouldn't just suddenly disappear. But right now, they were just a little bit quieter, a little bit distant than usual. And although it was not much, it was as good a start as any. And you were happy with that. You were relieved to have someone like him by your side, someone willing to acknowledge your troubles and confront them with you. And as the wind carried away the last remnants of your doubt, you realized that maybe, just maybe, Muichiro may be right. He might be enough, more than you even realized.